Hello and welcome to Critical Line Item Live. My name's Tom Rablick and thank you so much for joining this particular video, or if you're watching it after it's been live streamed, thank you for doing that as well. I will be doing a lot more of this on both LinkedIn and YouTube as we get closer to the federal election, and we'll be covering a range of issues. But today, what I would like to do is explore with you how you navigate your way around the Parliament House website, the Commonwealth Parliament's website that contains a raft of information that you sometimes may not be able to find very easily. Now, one of the things that was recently in the news is a social media ban for under 16s. That is, individuals under the age of 16 would be banned from using social media, and that there would be a verification methodology that would apply in order to ensure that the parents and others were satisfied that their kids couldn't get on and see a range of nasty things. Now, that committee tabled a report a week ago today. And what happens when a committee tables a report? Where does it end up when Parliament finishes an inquiry and it ends up going through the legislative process, which you did last week? So let's go and have a look at where you will find this particular report on social media bans that was part of the process of passing the new law. Now, you will see I'm on Parliament House's website at the present time, and that is the landing page. That is the first page you see when you land on the parliamentary website. Now, there are drop-down menus, so you can go down to committees or you can go to the tab on the front page. Both of them will take you to the same location. If you go to the Senate committee page and then find your way to the committee called Environment and Communications. Now, that is the committee that held the half-day hearing on the issue of the social media ban. So it was only something like 3.5, 4 hours of a public hearing after the committee had received 15,000 submissions within 24 hours in order to assess what people's views were on the ban. So 15,000 submissions were received. Let's go and find where that committee inquiry sits on these pages. Now, it is an inquiry that is concluded. So you won't find it on this page, and nor will you find it listed in the References Committee. Now, for those who don't know, the main parliamentary committee is called an Environment and Communications Legislation Committee. They look at bills, they look at laws. When it comes to a bigger and broader range of issues, the committees get an issue referred to them, so that goes to a References Committee. Those of you who followed my material in the Mandarin and elsewhere would know I spent a lot of time over the past 12 months focusing on the Finance and Public Administration Committee's work on procurement. And that work was done by the References Committee. It's an overall overarching issue rather than a piece of legislation. So that is the difference between the two. What you will find, however, if we can go to committee membership, is you'll have a legislation committee membership, which, let's take you there so you actually know who chairs it. You've got Senator Karen Grogan from South Australia representing the Labor Party, who is the chair of the Legislation Committee, and then the deputy chair is Australian Greens Senator Sarah Hanson-Young, also from South Australia. Somehow the South Australians have got themselves onto the two main roles of this committee. I don't know what it is about South Australia, but that just happened here. If we go back one, The roles will typically be reversed when it's the References Committee membership, and that is correct in this case. So you have Sarah Hanson-Young, who chairs the References Committee, and the normal chair of the committee, Senator Karen Grogan, is the deputy chair. So that is where this particular shift occurs. So the References Committee is typically chaired by a non-government member, but a government member will chair usually the Legislation Committee. That's the kind of convention. It happens with the Finance Committee as well. Louise Pratt, the Senator from Western Australia, chairs the Finance and Public Administration Committee, but the Coalition Senator from Tasmania, Senator Richard Colbeck, chairs the References Committee. You with me? Good. Let's get on to the next thing. Now, if we take this one step further, the committee inquiry and social media bans ended. So what you need to do is go to completed inquiries and then find that on top of the list is the inquiry that we're talking about. Okay, Online Safety Amendment, Social Media Bit of a Age Bill 2024 provisions. So this is the inquiry that was held by the committee for half a day, and it received 15,000 submissions. And what you will note here is information about the bill. So you've got information about the bill up top, and it will typically lead you to a page with the legislation and the stages of debate and amendments, and a Bill's Digest as well. If the Parliamentary Library has got one cooked up for people to read and look at summaries, etc. The submissions page, let's go there. And let's see whether we've got, so the committee page only has 107 submissions uploaded. You will see a range of submissions on this first page. I won't scroll through all of them. You will be able to do so in your own time, okay? But that's what this committee submissions page looks like. There are only 107 posted, and in fairness, the committee secretariats are small teams, so you can't expect them to pull everything together very, very rapidly, but that's where you'll find the submissions. Now, what you have on another page, if we can call it up there, is the public hearings page. Now, this is typical for, in parliamentary inquiries. There will be a public hearings page. In this case, there was only one public hearing, and the program consisted of, let me just call that up, very rapidly. Let's go. So it was due to finish about midday. It went on for much longer because there were a pile of questions that were being asked. But that is where that an inquiry got to. So you get to see the witnesses there that appeared, and those people were grilled by various senators about the efficacy of the legislation. What you then have is an additional documents section, and that will typically have questions on notice responses, which you can see there. Those were from the relevant department. And then there are, at times, tabled documents, right? So there are, in this case, speeches, opening statements. Sometimes there are articles from the newspaper tabled. There are questions on notice lists that go on forever with some other inquiries. So be mindful of the fact that this is not a typical kind of questions on notice or a table documents list. Some of them will have a lot more, and it will depend on the inquiry and its duration. This one only had a half-day hearing, and most of these things are either submissions from a former inquiry, or alternatively, they are opening addresses like the one from Project Rocket or from Susan Sawyer or from Daniel Einstein. All of these opening statements are really good to read if you're interested in the topic and you want to understand different perspectives. Anyone that's known my work for some time will know that I'm a big fan of people exposing themselves to different views. Looking at these submissions will give you a taste of what people think. And the final part of this is actually the report page. So what you will have here is a report page that is on the website. There are several dissenting reports in accordance with the list recommendations and all the other things that come along with it. What you should do is look at the dissenting reports as well as the main report. The main report is a report of the chairman, but you will also have other reports as well. So that now tells you where things sit in terms of this particular committee inquiry, but you can actually use that knowledge to go and look at other inquiries as well. Remember that active inquiries are on the actual page of the inquiry, but other inquiries that are concluded, you need to go and look at the past inquiries page. I hope this video has helped you navigate your way through the parliamentary website, looking at committee inquiries. I look forward to talking with you again soon. Cheers.